Hi there, YouTube. Today's Kingdom song is a real doozy. It's got a very sleepy, almost hypnotic melody with the strategic changes in tone to punctuate the happiness and joy of Jah and the fear and sadness that's everything else in the world. Another thing this song has is a shit ton of unnecessary punctuation. Oh my God, it's like a tractor trailer full of apostrophes overturned on a turnpike or something. I mean, they slapped apostrophes everywhere. This song debuted in the Doogie Brown 1984 songbook as number 45. In 2009, it was song number 13, and in the 2017 songbook, it is song number 43. It's called A Prayer of Thanksgiving. Now, if you know anything about Jehovah's Witnesses, you know that they don't celebrate any holidays, even holidays where the central idea is being thankful and grateful. Nope, not okay. Thanksgiving is a holiday that's considered nationalistic if you're in the US and pagan for some reason. So naturally, they couldn't leave a worldly word like Thanksgiving in Jehovah's Great and Holy Songbook. I mean, I don't know how it got there in the first place. Probably some apostate who infiltrated Bethel back in the 80s. I bet Ray Franz had something to do with it. Anyway, it took them until 2017 to change the name of this song to A Prayer of Thanks.
Gracious Jehovah, deserving of praise.
Gracious Jehovah, bless your pea-picking little heart.
What I want to know is, why does he deserve so much praise? I mean, what's he done for you lately?
To you, O sovereign, our voices we raise, and come to you, O great hearer of prayer, placing ourselves under your tender care.
Why do we need to be under someone's care, tender or otherwise? This seems kind of like an abdication of personal responsibility to me. And is Jehovah's care really tender? I mean, really? Let's take a look. If you're born to Jehovah's Witness parents, you are expected to attend multiple meetings every week from birth, which are hours long and not adjusted in any way for the comprehension or enjoyment of children, or appropriateness, or anything. Often these meetings result in numerous beatings because children aren't really capable of sitting quietly and listening to impossibly boring droning for hours on end. We learned, though. We were eventually broken and learned to just zone out and stare at the speaker. What did you think about at the meetings as a kid? I used to plan these elaborate and gigantic costume balls in my mind. I used to design beautiful dresses. I used to write stories in my head. But then I got chastised for not taking notes, so I started doing things like tallying up how many times the speaker said common words like Jehovah or loyal or hence or whatever. Sometimes I wrote what I started to think of as literal notes, the bluntest translation of what the speaker said, like don't kill people, love Jehovah, take a bath, that sort of thing. Anyway, I digress. Tender care for a Jehovah's Witness is endless boredom, followed by the drudgery of door-to-door ministry, which I can only imagine has been improved by the addition of smartphones, iPads, and cart service. Y'all lucky SOBs, all we had was a reasoning book. There's so many rules and so many things you're not allowed to do, and yet you're constantly told how happy and how wonderful your life is. Never mind how it feels. This is the best life ever! It's actually gaslighting on a large scale, and it really screws you up. And we haven't even talked about corporal punishment.
Use the rod.
Or disfellowshipping.
He said hello, run!
Or the subjugation of women, or any of that yet. Tender care my ass. In 2009, instead of coming to him, we bow to him. And in 2017, they changed up almost the whole thing. And these lines became, Gracious Jehovah, we praise you and thank you. Father, we make these expressions in prayer. Trusting in you, we will serve you completely, knowing we thrive under your tender care. Notice the emphasis placed on complete trust and submission here. This is really culty, y'all. It's basically saying Watchtower knows better than I do what's best for me, so I'm going to trust God, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, completely and be 100% subservient in all things. Anybody see how dangerous this is? Now, get ready for the minor key, because something horrible's about to happen.
Daily our errors reveal we are weak. us we seek.
Oh, it's awful. We screw up daily. We think impure thoughts. We aren't ecstatic about preparing for the Watchtower study. I mean, we only use one color of highlighter, for God's sake. And I can't even think about the unspeakable things that were done in the shower. Please forgive us, Watchtower. In 2017, our daily errors reveal imperfection, which really shouldn't surprise anyone, considering how fond Jehovah's Witnesses are of saying how imperfect they are. But don't worry, it's time now to go back to the major key, because we're about to hear about how special and better we are than everyone else. Again.
Look, with the blood of your Son we were bought. Now our desire is by you to be taught.
When did we go up for sale? And why would anyone accept blood as currency? That's barbaric. Even worse, that you're paying for all these people you don't know with the blood of your kids, for Christ's sakes. See what I did there? Wait, if a person is bought or sold, what does that make them? The only thing I can think of is a slave. That's really not cool, y'all. So now, just because we were apparently sold and bought without our consent, we supposedly desire to be taught by this God. What do we want him to teach us? How to calculate the blood volume required to purchase a new video production complex? What if Jesus turns out to be a little anemic after this? Does that matter? In 2017, they changed the last part of this to "Thankful we are that our lives have been ransomed. Thankful we are that you know we are weak." I don't think I would be very thankful to have someone who just purchased me as a slave know I was weak, or even think I was weak. That's probably not a trait that's particularly prized in a slave, unless your motive is to have the person under your total and complete control, body, mind, and spirit. A ransom is a payment demanded or paid for the release of a prisoner. This is a particularly interesting word to use in the context of Christianity, especially the Jehovah's Witness variety. So in a typical ransom situation, you've got someone kidnapped or otherwise held against their will. For that to happen, somebody has to be holding them prisoner, right? And that bad guy or whatever is demanding payment from someone else in order to release them. Okay, so if Jesus is actually the ransom payment, who is the payment being made to? Who is it that's demanding the payment? Jehovah. He's the one who mandated that the payment had to be made. But wait, I thought Jehovah was the one using Jesus as currency in this scenario. But he's buying us from himself? How does that work? I mean, he can't be both the good guy and the bad guy here. That's ridiculous.
Happy are those whom you choose to invite into your courts of instruction and light.
Here we have yet another reinforcement of the Jehovah's Witness belief that they are specially chosen by God and that they are superior, special, and set apart from the rest of the world. Literally holier than thou. Interesting that they use the word courts here, though, with that judgmental connotation. It all kind of goes together, doesn't it? So if you are a chosen one, a Jehovah's Witness, you are happy because you've been chosen and you are inside the court of God himself, where you can sit under his literal fluorescent light on an uncomfortable chair and be showered with his figurative new light, which changes regularly whenever a prediction fails. What you won't see there is sunlight, because there aren't any windows to let that kind of light in the Kingdom Hall. There's an apt metaphor for you. In 2017, these lines became, "Grateful we are that you show love and kindness. Thank you for drawing us closer to you." Does he show love and kindness, though? Does he really? Somehow, after spending 18 years of my life as a Jehovah's Witness, I can't really honestly say that he showed anything at all, because I've never seen anything that makes me think he exists. And the people who believe in him and his 8 chosen old geezers in New York are not very kind or loving, unless there's an angle. I don't really want to be closer to anyone like that. I don't care if he's supposedly the creator of the universe. If he were real and trying to draw me closer to him, I think I would have to request a restraining order.
Your house is holy, your word is our guide, and with your goodness we'll be satisfied.
It's time for a confession here. Even when I was a witness, the idea of the Kingdom Hall being holy just made me laugh. The Kingdom Hall isn't holy, it's sterile. All of them. are utterly boring, depressing even, completely devoid of anything inspiring or even interesting. Yo, Jehovah needs to fire his decorator for real. And don't even get me started on his word being our God. I assume they mean the Bible here, and if anyone's actually read that particular collection of wild stories, then you'll know that it's chock full of murder, genocide, rape, incest, and generally less than wholesome dreck. But this last line, this is a subtle reminder to Jehovah's Witnesses that they should be satisfied with what they get at the Kingdom Hall. That lack of love should be enough. That lack of care should be enough. That lack of intellectual stimulation and that deadening of your natural instincts and feelings is goodness. And if you are in any way worthy of life, you'll be satisfied with it. In 2009, this line was changed to, "Teach us to know you. Your word is our guide. Here in your temple we wish to reside." Oh, so the Kingdom Hall is a temple now too? All right. Whatever. You can't actually reside in there. There's nowhere to sleep and no kitchen. Not to mention the lack of showers, y'all. No one in their right mind would want to live there. In 2017, they changed this one again. And now it says, "Teach us to know you and help us to serve you. Show us the way to be loyal and true." So why would we need him to help us serve him? I mean, can you imagine a servant at Downton Abbey or somewhere?
"Lord Crawley, you'll need to assist me in serving you. How about you polish the shoes?"
Why, certainly, Thomas.
I mean, or your waiter at a restaurant.
Sir, if you'll just go back in the kitchen and get your food, I promise to serve it to you.
And do you need to be shown how to be loyal? Do you really need to be told who you feel loyalty to? That is actually not normal. Normally, you feel loyal to a person or group because they elicit some, actual feelings. They've proven themselves trustworthy and you actually care about them. Not so the Jehovah's Witnesses. They need to be shown explicitly what being loyal and true means because they've all had their personal feelings and intuitions excised. And all they do is what they're told to do. So being true means whatever Watchtower says it means, and being loyal means being loyal to Watchtower. Oh, it's time to drop back into that dirgy minor key again. Oh, we suck. Everything is awful.
How fear-inspiring is your righteous power, stilling earth's turmoil in your judgment hour.
Okay, Jehovah is terrifying. And if we don't fawn over him enough, he's going to kill everybody. I'm wondering about the judgment hour, though. How is mass genocide stilling the turmoil? I mean, wouldn't that be the biggest turmoil ever? Or maybe they're talking about just after the actual judgment hour. I mean, things would be pretty still after he kills everybody, after all. Though that doesn't sound very righteous to me, especially coming from the hypocrite who supposedly commanded people, "Thou shalt not kill." In 2009, these lines became, "Awesome indeed is your powerful hand, giving your servants the courage to stand." What's so great about his hand? Why is it extra powerful? Is this as opposed to his non-powerful hand? What does it usually mean when one hand is stronger than the other? I mean, does one hand get more exercise? Or I love how his servants, the bold Jehovah's Witnesses, don't even have the courage to stand up unless they see his powerful hand. At least they got rid of one unnecessary apostrophe here, though. In 2017, this line was changed again. Now it says, "Thankful we are for your powerful spirit, grateful we are for the courage to speak." Now, the bold and stalwart Jehovah's Witnesses can't even speak without their big old beefcake friend backing them up. Does God have a powerful spirit? Or is he supposed to be a powerful spirit? I'm also just a little bit over the grovelly tone of this song. It's really obsequious and kind of gross. If I were God and people talked to me like this all the time, I'd be really annoyed. Wait, maybe that's what's wrong with them.
God of salvation, your kingdom we hail. Preach it we must, for it will never fail.
Okay, the use of the word "for" here is confusing. Usually when used this way, "for" usually indicates because, as in, I went to a restaurant for I was hungry. So the wording here would seem to indicate that because the kingdom will supposedly never fail, we must preach it. But why? Why would those things be connected at all? That's like saying because I'm an American citizen, I must start selling Amway or Plexus or whatever multi-level marketing flavor of the week is these days. It doesn't make any sense. And anyway, how can you assert that the kingdom will never fail when it's already failed multiple times? I mean, think about it. The first version in the Garden of Eden failed immediately. And then he tried again when he supposedly flooded the whole world and killed everybody except Noah and them. Did his rulership succeed that time? No. Instead, we are supposedly in the final part of the final part of the final part of the final part of the last days, right before Armageddon, when he's planning to kill everybody and start over again for the third time. And he's already planning for that to fail too, because he supposedly has this thing set up at the end of the 1,000-year reign where there's going to be another genocide of anyone who doesn't drink the Kool-Aid at that point. So yeah, his track record ain't so hot. In 2017, they changed these lines to, "May we be humble and happy to serve you. May we give thanks, for you favor the meek." Now, the emphasis is more than ever on being humble and meek and submissive to the watchtower. Groveling around and thanking them, Jehovah, for his favor, because favoritism is so very ethical and moral, don't you know? Let's put on a great big show of how happy and grateful we are to be serving Jehovah, even if we're miserable, because as long as we are meek, will be shown favor. This is bullshit, y'all. Also, in 2017, this is the end of the song. But in 1984, there was another verse, and I know you want to hear it.
May your attention cause joy to abound. O'er all the earth, let your worship be found.
Y'all, he's looking. Quick, do something, entertain him.
Yay! Woo!
We have his attention. Worship, praise. Oh, okay, he's not looking anymore. That's it, guys. Put the extra apostrophes back in the truck. No, he's not looking anymore. We don't even need those. In 2009, they removed the unnecessary punctuation, and the worship is now found in all the earth instead of or it. Not that it makes any real difference or anything.
Crowned with your goodness, your kingdom appears, wiping out sickness, death, sorrow, and tears.
Wait, kingdom was invisible before? Oh, that's right, because Christ returned invisibly in 1914, according to the Jehovah's Witnesses, followed by absolutely no change. If Jesus were actually ruling, wouldn't things be like a little different? Wouldn't they? If they weren't, how would you even know that the kingdom was a thing? Maybe that's why the witnesses are supposed to be preaching, to let people know. But why? If nothing is different, then what difference does it make? And I don't see that any sickness or sorrow or tears have been wiped out either. If anything, the witnesses have caused more sickness, death, sorrow, and tears. They keep saying that they're going to wipe out all the tears from our eyes and all that, but then they turn around and shun us. So pardon me if I'm having a little bit of a hard time believing in something that I can't see being sold to me by someone who's lied to me before. I'm just saying.
All that is wicked, your Son will destroy. Blessed creation will cry out for joy.
So what are they talking about here when they say all that is wicked? Well, obviously that would include Elphaba, the Wicked Witch of the West, and Ozzy Osbourne, I guess. They really used to hate him. Seriously though, are they talking about criminals and rapists and murderers here? Well, sure, yeah, but that's not their primary target when they talk about the wicked. No, the worst people on the face of the planet, nay, in the universe, are apostates. People who dare to say something out loud that isn't about how wonderful and unique the Jehovah's Witnesses are. People who may have left the Jehovah's Witnesses because they were abused, or because the witnesses destroyed their family, or because they were treated like trash. Me. And after us are the run-of-the-mill worldly people, the ones who just aren't interested in becoming witnesses because, let's face it, studying poorly written Technicolor literature is boring. Those are definitely wicked people. They actually do believe this. The witnesses do believe this. Anyone on earth who doesn't listen to their message and become a witness is wicked and will die at Armageddon. According to this song, Jehovah's Son, that's Jesus for you heathens out there, is going to destroy all of us. 99.99% of humanity. As horrifying as that is, the Jehovah's Witness governing body, especially a certain Anthony Morris III, believe that they are going to personally be right there beside Jesus when he slaughters all of us and our grandmas and our kids and probably our little dogs too. And blessed creation, meaning the smug and superior witnesses, are going to cry out for joy. Y'all, this is sick as fuck. Can you imagine crying out for joy because your neighbors and your coworkers and your kids' schoolmates are being slaughtered? And in the case of my own family, Going to be so happy that they're going to cry out for joy when me and my husband and my children are murdered. How on earth does anyone think this is okay?
Shouting in triumph, oh thanks let us sing. Praise to Jehovah, her glorious King.
Hey, Jehovah, he's our man. If he can't kill him, no one can.
Thanks, Jehovah. The world's really going to be so much better without my kids who decided they didn't want to go door to door selling crappy literature and showing people videos they don't want to watch on their iPads. That brother in the congregation that molested all those children, though, he gets to live because he went to the hall regularly. I mean, that's fine. I mean, it's not possible to be wicked and still attend meetings. No, not at all. Well, though, it sure is going to be great without all those pot smokers and musicians and artists and little kids and philanthropists and scientists and engineers and... oh, shit. We might have screwed up.